And joining me now, NBC's Garrett Haake, NBC Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Dilanian, and former U.S. Attorney Harry Litman. And Garrett, you were in the courtroom. Ken Dilanian, you were in the overflow room. So you were both witnesses to everything that unfolded. Garrett, first to you. You were there. Give us a sense of what it was like to be sitting in that courtroom, watch Donald Trump, former president, coming in. You know, how confident was he? The lawyers, the magistrate judge, all of it.
It was a strange combination between feeling very historic and also totally mundane. I mean, just being out in the gallery, there were members of the public there were judges' family members there were multiple judges from that district who would come, in some cases with their family, to watch the proceedings. You could tell it was history they wanted to be a part of. But the proceedings themselves were pretty perfunctory. It was about 27 minutes. It felt, mostly like any other defendant, other than the fact that it was the most famous and one of the most powerful people in the world who was in the chair. Now, as for Donald Trump, I've been in the courtroom for all three of his arraignments, and this time you could tell he is getting a little bit more comfortable with this. He's used to the process. He understands when to stand and when to sit and what to say. And he was pretty comfortable kind of looking around the room, talking with his lawyers, except when it came to Jack Smith. I think the two men probably eyes met right as Donald Trump came into the room. And while Smith was watching Donald Trump very closely, clearly kind of taking in his behavior and his demeanor in the courtroom, Donald Trump never returned his gaze for the rest of the time there. He was sort of would look all the way around the room, look at the other reporters, look at the judge, but he wasn't going to have it with Jack Smith.
And Garrett, what about the timing? What are we going to hear next? Because the magistrate judge seemed to be reflecting, and we got some sort of window into the thinking of the trial judge.
That's right. It was very clear that they had coordinated and discussed this beforehand, that they want to move quickly. The magistrate judge gave the option for 3 dates for this next hearing, which was interesting because the government immediately said, we want the earliest one. The Trump lawyers said, we'll take the very latest. So the Trump lawyers kind of won that round. This August 28th hearing will be the next hearing. But then it's very clear the judge wants to set a trial date. There was a back and forth about when filings would be due and kind of what information would be contained therein. And the magistrate judge said, look, you can make all these arguments that you want. I expect it to be in the filings. So will Judge Chutkan. She's going to make a decision on the 28th, so come prepared.
Wow. Kozo, Ken Dilanian, you were in the overflow room. You had a slightly different vantage point. You're watching on a big screen. And you have also been able to talk to John Lauro, who was the defense lawyer there. And he gave you a sense today about how the defense is going to lay it out.
Well, we have an analysis that we just published on NBCnews.com about President Trump's potential legal defenses and their pitfalls. And before I get into that, I'll say that one thing yesterday's hearing made clear is that its primary defense is to delay.
Yep.
Because that was John Lauro's approach, was the judge ordered both sides to write a brief about when they think the trial could be scheduled. Laura didn't even want to do that. He said, we need to get an idea of what the discovery is here. We're going to afford ourselves of every possible defense. And some of those defenses include what he's been articulating on TV. Everything Donald Trump said was covered by the First Amendment. Now, lawyers don't think much of that defense because every criminal fraud requires speech, and that doesn't mean that speech was protected. It can be in furtherance of a crime. But there's another defense that he relied on the advice of lawyers. The problem with that is a lot of the lawyers that gave him that advice are unnamed co-conspirators in this alleged
so that's
fraud.
John Eastman and
Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell. There are some
Jeff Clark.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a third defense would be that Donald Trump legitimately believed that the election was stolen from him, that these weren't fraudulent claims, that he actually felt these things were true. The problem with that is there's a lot of evidence in this indictment and elsewhere to the contrary. No less than Bill Barr, his attorney general at the time, says he's now convinced that Donald Trump knew he lost the election.